It all started with a storm that nobody saw coming, and suddenly the entire internet is on fire. Social media is exploding with accusations, memes, and frantic voice notes because people genuinely believe DJ Khaled has finally been exposed, not just for manipulating rappers, but for allegedly blackmailing them into giving him free features. And just when you think the chaos cannot escalate any further, T-Pain steps forward like a man carrying the weight of a decade's worth of secrets. In a jaw-dropping twist, he claims DJ Khaled acted as an FBI informant behind the scenes. The comment sections immediately turned into digital battlegrounds, with fans screaming, "This cannot be real," while others said, "We always knew something felt off." But the part that shakes everyone to their core is this: T-Pain and DJ Khaled were not just industry friends, they were brothers. They rose together, toured together, shared private conversations that were never meant to see the light of day. If anyone could reveal the truth about DJ Khaled's hidden behavior, it would be T-Pain, and that is exactly why this revelation feels like a betrayal straight out of a Greek tragedy. As people replay old interviews and dig up forgotten backstage clips, the signs start appearing like ghosts pointing back to the beginning, whispering that maybe the red flags were always there. To understand how deep this goes, we need to rewind to the early 2000s, a golden era when T-Pain was not just winning, he was dominating. Hit after hit after hit poured out of him like it was effortless. Everyone wanted a piece of the autotune genius who redefined the sound of an entire generation. Meanwhile, DJ Khaled was stuck in the shadows, hungry for relevance, hungry for a moment that would lift him out of the background noise. And then, like a man spotting a lifeboat in the middle of a sinking sea, he reached out to T-Pain. Their first major collaboration, I Am So Hood, dropped in 2007 and immediately shifted the energy in the industry. People loved it. Labels loved it. And most importantly, DJ Khaled loved the attention he received from riding T-Pain's wave. They followed it up with Go Hard in 2008, but the real explosion came in 2010 with All I Do Is Win. Even today, stadiums shake whenever that song plays. It became a cultural anthem, 6 times platinum, endlessly remixed, and forever associated with victory. For DJ Khaled, it was the rocket ship that launched him into superstardom. But here is the twist that leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth. While DJ Khaled's career soared higher and higher off the momentum of these collaborations, T-Pain's career began to spiral downward. The same man who once dominated the charts found himself being pushed aside as new artists entered the scene. And instead of supporting him, instead of standing by the friend who had elevated him from irrelevance into the mainstream spotlight, DJ Khaled quietly walked away. He did not defend T-Pain. He did not protect him. He did not even acknowledge him. He simply pivoted, straight toward Future, the rising star of that era. Fans describe this moment as industry betrayal in its purest form. Social media threads compare it to a ladder. T-Pain built it, DJ Khaled climbed it, and as soon as he reached the top, he kicked it away. Even now, people are revisiting old footage, piecing together timelines, and questioning whether DJ Khaled ever truly valued the friendship, or if he always viewed T-Pain as a tool, a shortcut, a convenient stepping stone toward fame. And if the newest accusations are true, if blackmail and informant behavior were part of the equation, then this story is not just messy. It is catastrophic. It changes everything we thought we knew about one of the most influential figures in modern hip-hop culture. No one is denying that DJ Khaled had every right to collaborate with Future. This is the music industry, alliances shift, creative choices evolve, and careers rise and fall with every season. But there is a monumental difference between expanding your network and abandoning the people who helped build your foundation. And the brutal truth is this: DJ Khaled did not simply drift away from T-Pain, he ditched him. Entirely. Publicly. Coldly. The internet has been screaming about this for years, and T-Pain himself has never been shy about expressing the hurt. What makes the situation even crazier is that Khaled has shown absolutely no remorse, no reflection, no acknowledgement of the emotional wreckage left behind. And before T-Pain reignited the flames with his newest allegations, their feud had already erupted once in a messy, career-shaking clash. It all traces back to 2013 when DJ Khaled produced Ace Hood's track Bugatti, which went on to become a cultural moment in hip-hop. Instead of featuring T-Pain, the man he once called a brother, Khaled placed Future front and center. The industry noticed. Fans noticed. And T-Pain definitely noticed, because he later revealed something that made people gasp. He said he had already recorded a demo for that very song, a demo that DJ Khaled allegedly handed to Future without giving T-Pain a single ounce of credit. To add insult to injury, Khaled publicly credited Future as if Pain's contribution had never existed. So what did T-Pain do? He did what any wounded artist with a phone and a lifetime of receipts would do. He posted an Instagram photo of Future sitting in a Bugatti on the music video set, and he captioned it with a line that sent shockwaves across social media. He basically said, "Funny thing about that Bugatti you woke up in, it is mine." It was a dagger of irony because Future had recorded a song about waking up in a Bugatti, but the twist was that he did not even own one. Comment sections went wild. Memes exploded. Fans accused Future of faking a lifestyle, and the entire scandal spun like a tornado across Twitter. But here is where the situation turned from messy to catastrophic. T-Pain thought he was clowning Future, but the man in the photo was actually Ace Hood, DJ Khaled's artist at the time. Khaled felt humiliated. He called T-Pain immediately, angry and aggressive, demanding an explanation for publicly embarrassing someone signed to his label. For T-Pain, the call felt like a punch to the chest. He heard a version of Khaled he had never encountered before, not a friend, not a collaborator, but a man who sounded like he had been waiting for a reason to cut ties. And for Khaled, this was the final straw. The moment that justified every quiet resentment he had been nursing behind the scenes. This was the true breaking point. After that phone call, DJ Khaled severed the connection completely and aligned himself fully with Future. There was no subtle distancing, no attempt at a professional detour. It was loud, dramatic, and very intentional. The industry watched the shift happen in real time. 1 minute T-Pain and Khaled were delivering chart-topping records like an unstoppable duo, and the next minute they were strangers. Fans tried to make excuses, theorizing about creative differences or timing conflicts, but the reality was far more personal. It was betrayal, plain, sharp, and devastating. That is how T-Pain experienced it, and that is how millions of fans interpreted it. But the story gets even more disturbing. According to T-Pain, DJ Khaled did later offer forgiveness, but the terms of that forgiveness were manipulative and humiliating. Khaled told T-Pain that the public would never believe their friendship had healed unless T-Pain posed for a photograph with Future. Not a real conversation. Not emotional reconciliation. Not accountability. A photo. A staged moment for optics. A manufactured illusion meant to rewrite the narrative for social media. The thought of standing next to the man whose rise had contributed to the fracture of his career, just to appease Khaled's craving for image control, felt deeply degrading to T-Pain. He refused. He refused to fake peace, refused to play puppet, refused to let the internet dictate the truth of his relationships. And of course, that refusal ignited DJ Khaled's anger all over again. To a man who built his empire on branding, on curated perception, on controlling how the world sees him, T-Pain's refusal was not just a disagreement. It was disrespect. It was a challenge to his authority. A crack in his polished image. Then came the moment that felt almost fated. T-Pain met Future's brother at a club one night. The room was loud, the energy chaotic, but something about the interaction felt eerily aligned with everything Pain had been dealing with. With sincerity, T-Pain approached him and expressed admiration, saying he would love to collaborate with Future someday. Future's brother did not sugarcoat a thing. He looked Pain dead in the eyes and said it was never going to happen. Not maybe. Not possibly. Never. And then he explained why. Future allegedly wanted nothing to do with T-Pain. The rift with DJ Khaled had infected everything. It had altered the way other artists viewed T-Pain, blocking opportunities he did not even know he was losing. Imagine being rejected by someone whose work you respected, not because of music, but because of grudges, misunderstandings, and quietly whispered conversations that shaped your reputation behind closed doors. That kind of rejection does not just hurt, it rearranges something inside you. Fast forward to today, and T-Pain sits across from Shannon Sharpe in a raw, unfiltered interview that sends tremors through the entire hip-hop community. This time, he does not hold back. You can feel the years of frustration, disappointment, and buried emotion pouring out of him like a dam finally breaking. He calls DJ Khaled a sellout, a traitor, someone who traded loyalty for spectacle. These are not words tossed around casually. These are the kinds of words that come from wounds that never fully healed, the kind of emotional truth that finally erupts when silence becomes unbearable. T-Pain revealed something that left the entire internet stunned. He described how DJ Khaled would perform loyalty for the cameras, wrapping his arm around him, calling him brother, shouting his name as if their bond ran deeper than blood. But behind the curtain, behind the bright lights and staged smiles, everything felt completely different. According to T-Pain, Khaled built an entire persona around being the supportive friend, the ride-or-die collaborator, yet the moment someone hotter, louder, and more marketable emerged, in this case, Future, Khaled did not hesitate. He did not pause. He did not even look back. He stepped over the history they built together as if it was nothing more than dust on the industry floor. For T-Pain, the sting did not come from Khaled working with Future. He understood the business. He understood evolution. What hurt was the erasure, the feeling of being discarded like a prop that had served its purpose. T-Pain spoke about how, during the peak of his influence, he was misunderstood and undervalued by the very people who benefited from his creativity. So when Khaled shifted his loyalty so abruptly, it did not feel like a simple business decision. It felt like disrespect layered on top of years of quiet wounds. During the interview, Payne described how Khaled praised him privately, calling him a genius, telling him he was changing the sound of the culture. But when the tides of popularity turned and Future became the new voice of the streets, Khaled's energy shifted entirely. He started moving like T-Pain no longer existed. The collaboration slowed to nothing. The friendship dissolved. The public appearances vanished. And when Payne sought clarity, Khaled offered nothing but the same hollow positivity he gives the world, empty words, deflections, and surface-level warmth that hid the truth he refused to say aloud. The wildest part is that T-Pain paved the road that Future, Travis Scott, and half the rap scene sprinted down. He redefined the sonic blueprint of an entire era. He walked so others could run. Yet the very artists shaped by his influence were suddenly being used to replace him. The irony is almost too sharp to swallow. What makes the story even heavier is how T-Pain internalized it. He admitted he began questioning his own worth. Losing collaborations, losing momentum, losing people he believed were loyal, it pushed him into a darkness the public never saw. It made him retreat from the spotlight, feeling like he was being punished for inventing a sound the world later worshipped. And hearing that Future allegedly did not want to work with him because of Khaled's influence? That felt like a wound layered on top of a wound. Even then, T-Pain did not lash out. He did not drag Khaled online. He did not drop diss tracks. He stayed silent and rebuilt himself quietly. But while he stayed humble, Khaled continued to align himself with Future in louder and louder ways, celebrating him publicly and signaling to the world that T-Pain's chapter in his story had ended. So when T-Pain finally sat down with Shannon Sharpe, all those swallowed emotions erupted. He spoke with a clarity sharpened by years of reflection. He said Khaled was not the loyal brother he pretended to be. He said Khaled's loyalty only existed when it benefited him, when the cameras captured it, when it elevated his brand. In private, Khaled allegedly switched sides the instant a newer, shinier opportunity appeared. For T-Pain, who trusted deeply and loved wholeheartedly, that type of betrayal cut the deepest. And the heartbreaking truth is that T-Pain did not only feel abandoned by Khaled, he felt abandoned by the industry. He built the foundation they all stood on, yet the moment the spotlight shifted, he was pushed aside like an outdated accessory. And instead of defending him, Khaled distanced himself even further, choosing clout over connection. But here is where the story turns powerful. T-Pain made it clear he is not seeking revenge. He is not living in bitterness. He is simply speaking his truth for the first time, loudly, confidently, and without fear. He has healed enough to describe what really happened, and he refuses to let anyone distort his narrative again. The industry may have tried to bury him, but he resurfaced stronger, wiser, and unshaken by the opinions of people who never truly respected him. And then came the plot twist that sent social media spiraling. T-Pain addressed the viral moment where the internet accused him of screaming "F DJ Khaled." He explained that he never said that. Not even close. He said he speaks fast, Florida fast, and the internet misheard him. What he actually said sounded like "finging DJ Khaled," because he was about to list something off but chose to drop it mid-sentence. But the internet being the internet, they grabbed one syllable and ran with it like it was a breaking headline. Within hours, people were remixing it, exaggerating it, twisting it, and reposting it until the narrative spiraled far beyond his control. And once the misunderstanding hit the timeline, it was like a dam broke. Users who had been silently compiling theories for years suddenly unleashed them in full force. They accused Khaled of playing the industry like a chess match, moving artists around to get what he wanted. They even claimed he leveraged secrets, real or imagined, to pressure rappers into giving him free features. It sounded like a plot from a thriller movie, but the timeline treated it like gospel. People asked, how does Khaled get all these features when he does not even rap? Others said, why do artists jump on his albums so quickly? And the theories spiraled faster than anyone expected. Whether the claims were true or not almost did not matter. The internet loves a narrative, especially one dripping in betrayal, secrecy, and power moves. And this time, DJ Khaled was at the center of the storm, whether he wanted to be or not. Then the timeline dropped a bomb so big that the internet practically lost its collective mind. People began claiming that DJ Khaled's star-studded albums were not the product of goodwill or musical camaraderie at all. Instead, the rumor swirling through every corner of social media insisted that Khaled did not even pay artists for their verses. The theory was that he allegedly used the threat of negative press, or worse, to pressure people into giving him features for free. Users spread that rumor with absolute conviction, repeating it like scripture. And the internet, as always, did not wait for confirmation. It only needed the spark of a story messy enough to believe. Once it grabbed hold of the idea, the narrative wrote itself. People said things like, "That is the real reason everyone appears on his albums. Not because they want to. Because they feel like they have no choice." Whether it was true or not barely mattered. The timeline loves a villain too much to pause for facts. And just when you think the internet could not dunk any harder, someone always finds a darker alley to explore. Suddenly unrelated scandals began getting stitched into the story like mismatched puzzle pieces forced into place. Out of nowhere, the ongoing Diddy situation became part of the Khaled conspiracy vortex. The theory circulating was that DJ Khaled allegedly snitched on Diddy to federal investigators to avoid getting incriminated himself. Social media users claimed Khaled protected his brand by offering information the moment the investigation drifted too close to his orbit. No one knows if any of this is real. But again, truth does not trend. Drama does. And the timeline devoured this theory like it was a 5-course meal. Then the internet resurrected an absolutely unhinged detail that most people had forgotten. During the early rumblings of Diddy's legal mess, a man named Jonathan Audi, someone Cassie testified she had been forced to be with, became a trending name after speaking to investigators. He claimed DJ Khaled was allegedly present at one of the infamous freak-offs. That single statement sent people spiraling so violently that even conspiracy theorists were pausing to take notes. Because if Khaled was actually there, the question became unavoidable: why was he never subpoenaed? Why was he never questioned? Why was his name not floating through any official paperwork when witnesses allegedly placed him in the room? This question alone ignited an inferno of speculation, because the timeline loves a mystery more than it loves reality. And before anyone tries to dismiss Jonathan as some random person seeking attention, social media made one thing painfully clear: Cassie herself verified in court that Jonathan was one of the men she had been forced to sleep with. So he is not some internet troll fabricating wild fantasies. And the chilling part is that he did not mention Khaled's alleged presence recently. He said it in 2018. Years before the public had any context. Years before the allegations became global news. When someone says something long before social media has the puzzle pieces, the internet begins to look at them differently. Suddenly people were asking, if Jonathan mentioned this in 2018, and Cassie's case did not surface until 2023, then how much of this was known behind the scenes long before the world caught up? And once that question entered the atmosphere, speculation mutated into full-scale conspiracy. So now the question echoing across every corner of the internet is simple, chilling, and deafening. If DJ Khaled was truly present, even in a passive capacity, why was he never brought in? Even if he was innocent, even if he never participated in anything, why did law enforcement not request a statement? Not one hearing. Not one subpoena. Not one official mention. Meanwhile, everyone else connected to that circle was getting dragged under the legal spotlight. The speculation grew so intense that some users began insisting Khaled must have struck some kind of immunity deal. The theory was, maybe Khaled talked, and that is why his name vanished from everything. No one knows if it is true. But online, speculation often becomes confirmation long before evidence arrives. And this is exactly where the chaos loops right